Imagine waking up in a beautiful new country where the cost of living is lower, healthcare won't bankrupt you, and people actually want you there. Sounds pretty amazing, right? Well, in 2025, some countries are rolling out the red carpet for Americans looking to start fresh. Which places offer the best quality of life, easy visas, and even cheaper rent than your Netflix subscription? Stick around, because today we're counting down the 10 most welcoming countries for Americans. And trust me, some of these will surprise you. Where would you move if you could? Let's dive in and find your dream destination. Number 10. Japan. Japan, a country where ancient traditions blend seamlessly with high-tech, futuristic cities. If you've ever wanted to live in a place where vending machines sell everything from hot ramen to umbrellas and robots, serve coffee in cafes, Japan might be calling your name. Americans love Japan for its safety, efficiency, and unique cultural experiences. Tokyo, a mega city with over 37 million people, is the largest urban area in the world. Yet, despite its bustling streets, it's one of the cleanest, most organized places you'll ever visit. Japan's crime rate is astonishingly low, only 0.3 homicides per 100,000 people, making it one of the safest countries on Earth. Now, let's talk about food, because Japan is a paradise for foodies. You can grab an authentic sushi meal for as little as 1,000 yen, or enjoy an all-you-can-eat Wagyu beef buffet for 4,000 yen. Unreal, right? And let's not forget Japan's unique work culture. While their traditional salaryman lifestyle is intense, more companies are adopting Western-style remote work policies, making it easier for Americans to fit in. Want to live in Japan? You'll love that their healthcare system is world-class and costs 50 to 70% less than in the US. A basic doctor's visit costs around 5,000 yen, 33 yen, and monthly health insurance can be as low as 20,000 yen, 135. And guess what? Japan is obsessed with customer service. Every store, from tiny ramen shops to massive department stores, treats you like royalty. Housing? Tokyo isn't cheap, but outside the major cities, you can find rent for 50,000 yen, 335 a month, for a cozy apartment. Plus, Japan is home to over 6,000 islands, meaning there's always an adventure waiting. If you love cherry blossoms, Mount Fuji hikes, anime, and high-speed bullet trains, which can reach 320 kilometers per hour, 199 miles per hour, Japan will steal your heart. Number 9. Germany. Germany is not just cars, beer, and bratwurst, though, let's be real, those are all fantastic. It's a country that perfectly balances work, travel, and play. Over 120,000 Americans currently live in Germany, attracted by its booming economy, low unemployment rate, just 3%, and high wages. If you're looking for job security, Germany has one of the strongest labor protections in the world. Even entry-level jobs in tech or engineering can start at 50,000 euros, $55,000 a year. What about healthcare? Germany's healthcare system is ranked among the best globally and is available to everyone. If you earn below 64,350 euros, 70,000 a year, you automatically get into the public healthcare system, where a checkup costs as little as 10 euros, 11. Compare that to an American ER bill, and it's no wonder so many people move here. Now, let's talk about lifestyle. Germany is Europe's travel hub. Board a train in Berlin, and in 4 hours you can be in Prague, Paris, or even Vienna. The beer culture is insane. Oktoberfest alone brings in 6 million visitors annually, serving over 7 million liters of beer. And if you love nature, you're in luck. Germany has over 16 national parks, including the Black Forest, which inspired the fairy tales of the Brothers Grimm. Rent? It varies. Berlin, despite being the capital, is much cheaper than other European cities. A decent one-bedroom apartment in the city center costs 1,200 euros, about 300 a month, while in smaller cities, you can rent a similar place for 600 euros, 650. Germany's public transportation system is top-notch, meaning you don't even need a car. Monthly transit passes cost around 49 euros, $53. And if you're into festivals, Germany has some of the world's best, from Cologne's crazy carnival to Berlin's epic nightlife. Want an adventure, a great career, and a top-tier lifestyle? Germany is calling. Number 8. Ireland. Ireland, the land of rolling green hills, ancient castles, and pubs that feel like a second home. If there's one thing Americans love about Ireland, it's the people. The Irish are famous for their friendliness, and you'll quickly find yourself chatting with strangers like they're old pals. There's a reason Dublin consistently ranks among the top 10 friendliest cities in the world. But don't be fooled by the relaxed pub culture. Ireland is also a rising economic powerhouse, especially in the tech sector. Big names like Google, Facebook, and Apple have their European headquarters here, employing thousands of Americans. In fact, the tech industry contributes over 12% to Ireland's GDP, making it one of the most lucrative fields for expats. One of the biggest perks of moving to Ireland? No language barrier. Unlike in many other European countries, you won't have to struggle with a new language. And if you have Irish ancestry, which over 30 million Americans do, you may even qualify for citizenship through descent. Talk about an easy way in. Housing costs depend on where you settle. Dublin is pricey, with one-bedroom apartments in the city center averaging €2,000, $2,200 a month. But in smaller cities like Cork or Galway, you can find rent for as low as €1,200, $1,300. The healthcare system is excellent, with many expats qualifying for the public system, costing a fraction of what it does in the US. A doctor's visit in Ireland? Around €50, compared to $150 plus back home. And let's talk lifestyle. If you love nature, Ireland is a dream. There are over 30,000 castles and ruins scattered throughout the country, and the cliffs of Moher will leave you speechless. The Guinness flows freely, rugby is a religion, and the nightlife? Absolutely legendary. With direct flights to the US from Dublin, moving here is as easy as booking a ticket. Number 7. Australia. Australia is the ultimate expat dream. Stunning beaches, warm weather, and a relaxed lifestyle that makes even the most stressed-out American feel at home. With a population of 26 million, Australia is a vast, diverse country that somehow manages to be both cosmopolitan and laid-back. Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane are top choices for Americans, with over 90,000 US expats already calling Australia home. One of the biggest draws? The salaries. Australia offers some of the highest wages in the world, with the average full-time salary sitting at 92,000 Australian dollars, 60,000 USD per year. And thanks to the strong labor laws, work-life balance is taken seriously. Paid vacation time is a standard 4 weeks per year. Imagine that in the US. Healthcare is another win. Australia's Medicare system ensures you won't go broke paying for a doctor's visit. Basic checkups cost around 40 Australian dollars, or 27 US dollars, and many expats qualify for government-subsidized healthcare after a year of residency. Rent? Sydney is the most expensive, with one-bedroom apartments averaging 3,000 Australian dollars, 2,000 US dollars, per month. But move to Brisbane, Adelaide, or Perth, and you can find rent for 1,500 Australian dollars or even less. And if you're a digital nomad or remote worker, Australia's new visas make it easier than ever to stay long-term. But let's talk lifestyle, because this is where Australia truly shines. Want to spend weekends surfing at Bondi Beach? Easy. Fancy a road trip along the Great Ocean Road? Done. Australia has over 10,000 beaches, meaning you could visit a new one every day for 27 years. The wildlife is next level too. Kangaroos, koalas, and yes, even the occasional giant spider. But don't worry, fatal spider attacks are literally rarer than getting struck by lightning. Throw in an epic coffee culture, BBQs in every park, and some of the best weather on Earth, and it's no wonder so many Americans make the move down under. Number 6. New Zealand. New Zealand is like stepping into a postcard. Snow-capped mountains, pristine beaches, and rolling green hills straight out of The Lord of the Rings. With only 5.2 million people spread across 2 main islands, it's one of the least crowded countries in the world. And that means space, peace, and fresh air galore. If you're an outdoor lover, this place is heaven. Hiking, surfing, skiing, and bungee jumping are part of everyday life here. So, what's attracting Americans? First off, work-life balance. New Zealanders believe in working to live, not living to work. The average salary is around 70,000 New Zealand dollars, and the government even introduced a 4-day workweek trial to help improve mental well-being. Housing costs vary, but expect to pay around 2,500 New Zealand dollars, 1,500 US dollars, per month for a one-bedroom in Auckland, while smaller towns offer rents as low as 1,200 New Zealand dollars, 700 US dollars. Healthcare? It's one of the best in the world. If you're a resident, it's free for most services, and for expats, costs are still far lower than in the US. A trip to the doctor averages 50 New Zealand dollars, 30 US dollars, and prescription meds are heavily subsidized. Now, let's talk lifestyle. With 3 national parks per million people, you'll never run out of breathtaking places to explore. Fancy walking on a glacier in the morning and soaking in natural hot springs by afternoon? That's just another day in New Zealand. And if you're a wine lover, you're in luck. NZ produces some of the world's best wines with over 700 wineries spread across the country. New Zealanders, or Kiwis, are incredibly friendly, and crime rates are 60% lower than in the US. Plus, it's ranked the second most peaceful country on Earth. Want to escape the hustle of American life, breathe in the cleanest air on the planet, and have adventure at your doorstep? New Zealand is waiting. Number 5. Costa Rica. If you're dreaming of trading stress for sunsets, Costa Rica is your answer. This small but mighty country in Central America is famous for its Pura Vida philosophy, which means pure life. And trust me, it's more than just a saying. It's a way of life. Costa Rica consistently ranks as one of the happiest countries on Earth, and it's not hard to see why. From the breathtaking Pacific and Caribbean coastlines to the lush rainforests filled with exotic wildlife, this country feels like a never-ending vacation. Costa Rica is home to over 120,000 American expats, many of whom are retirees, digital nomads, or eco-conscious travelers. Why? First, let's talk about affordability. While Costa Rica isn't the absolute cheapest country in Latin America, it's significantly more budget-friendly than the US. A comfortable lifestyle can cost $1,500 to $2,500 per month, including rent, groceries, healthcare, and entertainment. A beachfront apartment? You can find one for as low as $800 per month in places like Tamarindo or Puerto Viejo. Speaking of healthcare, Costa Rica's public healthcare system, Caja Costarricense de Seguro Social, CCSS, is ranked among the best in Latin America. Expats can access universal healthcare for as little as $75 per month, and private healthcare is still 50 to 70% cheaper than in the US. Need a doctor's visit? It'll cost you around $50, while dental work is a fraction of US prices. Nature lovers, get ready. Costa Rica is home to 5% of the world's biodiversity despite being only 0.03% of the Earth's landmass. Imagine waking up to howler monkeys in the jungle or spotting a sloth hanging from a tree outside your house. The country's commitment to sustainability is also impressive. 99% of its energy comes from renewable sources, making it one of the greenest countries in the world. Whether you want to surf in Santa Teresa, explore volcanoes in Arenal, or relax in Manuel Antonio National Park, Costa Rica offers endless adventures. And if you ever feel homesick, the US is just a 3-hour flight away. No wonder so many Americans call Costa Rica their second home. Number 4. Spain. If you've ever fantasized about long lunches, flamenco dancing, and sipping sangria on a sun-drenched terrace, Spain is the place for you. The country's relaxed Mediterranean lifestyle is a major draw for Americans, with over 40,000 US expats living here. Spain is also one of the most affordable places to live in Western Europe. In smaller cities like Valencia or Seville, you can rent a one-bedroom apartment for as little as €600, $650 per month, while even in Madrid or Barcelona, it's around €1,200, $1,300, way cheaper than New York or LA. One of Spain's biggest perks? The healthcare system. Ranked among the top 10 in the world, Spain offers both public and private healthcare options, and the costs are shockingly low compared to the US. A trip to the doctor costs €50, $55, and prescriptions are often 80% cheaper than in America. For retirees or long-term residents, public healthcare is nearly free. But let's talk about the real reason Americans love Spain: the lifestyle. The work-life balance is unbeatable. Spaniards don't live to work, they work to live. The famous siesta culture, midday breaks, is still alive in smaller towns, and long, leisurely dinners are a must. Speaking of food, Spain's tapas culture is legendary. You can grab a beer and a plate of patatas bravas for €3, $3.25. Spain also makes it ridiculously easy for Americans to stay long-term. The non-lucrative visa allows retirees or remote workers to live in Spain without needing a job offer, as long as you can prove you earn around €2,500 per month. And if you're looking to explore Europe, Spain's high-speed train system and budget airlines make it a perfect travel hub. With over 3,000 hours of sunshine per year on the Mediterranean coast, a deep-rooted culture of fiestas, and a cost of living 50% lower than most US cities, Spain is an absolute dream. Whether you're dancing in Barcelona, sipping wine in Rioja, or hiking in the Picos de Europa, life here is nothing short of magical. Number 3. Portugal. Portugal used to be Europe's best-kept secret until Americans started moving here in droves. Now, it's one of the hottest expat destinations in the world, with over 10,000 Americans calling it home, and that number is growing fast. What's the big deal? Well, let's start with the cost of living. Portugal is hands down one of the most affordable countries in Western Europe. In cities like Lisbon and Porto, rent for a one-bedroom apartment is around €900, $980 per month, while in smaller towns like Coimbra or the Algarve, you can find places for as little as €500, $550. And let's talk about food. Eating out in Portugal is ridiculously cheap. A full meal with wine? 10 do 12 euro, 11 do 13 dolarów. A cup of coffee? €1, €1 e 10 centesimi. Even a bottle of high-quality Portuguese wine costs just €5, $5.50. No wonder it's becoming a paradise for digital nomads, retirees, and remote workers. Another major perk? Portugal's Golden Visa and D7 Visa. If you invest €280,000, $310,000 in property, you can get residency, leading to EU citizenship in just 5 years. The D7 visa is even easier. It's designed for retirees and remote workers, requiring proof of a monthly income of just €820, $900. Now, let's talk about weather, because Portugal's climate is amazing. With over 300 sunny days a year, it's one of the sunniest places in Europe. Whether you want to surf in Nazaré, hike in the Azores, or relax in the vineyards of the Douro Valley, Portugal has something for everyone. Healthcare? Top-notch and incredibly affordable. A private doctor's visit costs around €40, and many expats choose the public healthcare system, which is free for residents. Add in low crime rates, Portugal is the 6th safest country in the world, an English-friendly culture, and easy travel connections to the rest of Europe, and you've got one of the best places to live in 2025. Portugal is booming, and Americans are catching on. Whether you want a relaxed coastal town, a vibrant city, or a countryside retreat, this country has it all, and at prices that seem too good to be true. Number 2. Mexico. Let's be real, Mexico isn't just a great place to visit. It's one of the best places in the world for Americans to live. And guess what? Over 1.2 million Americans already do. That makes Mexico the #1 country for US expats, and for good reason. First, let's talk about the elephant in the room: cost. Mexico offers an insanely affordable lifestyle compared to the US. In cities like Mérida, Puerto Vallarta, and Guadalajara, you can rent a beautiful 2-bedroom apartment for just $500 per month. Even in Mexico City, one of the most vibrant capitals in the world, rent is about 60% cheaper than in Los Angeles or New York. Food? Forget overpriced takeout. Mexico is a street food paradise. You can get 3 tacos and a drink for under $5. And if you're a fan of fresh fruit, seafood, or avocados the size of your hand, this is your dreamland. Grocery costs are about 40% lower than in the US, meaning you can eat fresh, organic food without breaking the bank. Healthcare is another massive draw. Mexico's medical care is world-class and ridiculously affordable. Expats can get private insurance for as little as $50 per month. And even without insurance, a doctor's visit costs around $30. Major procedures? Often 70% cheaper than in the US, which is why medical tourism is booming here. Now, let's talk lifestyle. Whether you want to chill on the Caribbean beaches of Tulum, explore the colonial charm of San Miguel de Allende, or live in a high-energy metropolis like Mexico City, Mexico has something for everyone. Plus, the climate is diverse. You can have year-round sun in Baja California, spring-like weather in Mexico's highlands, or tropical beaches on either coast. And don't worry about feeling isolated. Mexico has massive expat communities, especially in places like Lake Chapala, Playa del Carmen, and Oaxaca. Many Americans also love how easy it is to travel back to the US. A flight from Mexico City to Dallas takes just 2.5 hours. The Mexican government has also made things simple with the temporary resident visa, which allows Americans to live in Mexico for up to 4 years with just $2,600 per month in income. That's it. No wonder so many Americans are making the move. Mexico isn't just affordable, it's exciting, welcoming, and full of life. Number 1. Canada. Canada isn't just a place to visit. It's a place where millions of Americans have already put down roots. More than 800,000 US citizens live here full-time, and thousands more move in every single year. But why? Well, let's start with the obvious. Canada is one of the safest, cleanest, and most stable countries on Earth. The quality of life is through the roof. Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal regularly rank among the top 10 most livable cities in the world. And guess what? Canada's healthcare system is free for permanent residents. That's right, no more terrifying ER bills. Even for non-residents, a doctor's visit costs about $100, which is a fraction of what you'd pay in the US. Now, let's talk money. Canada's economy is booming, and salaries are competitive. The average full-time salary is around 60,000 Canadian dollars, 44,000 US dollars, and in major cities, it's even higher. Tech jobs, healthcare, and engineering are especially lucrative fields here, and the Canadian government actively welcomes skilled workers. The express entry system makes immigration straightforward. If you have work experience, education, and some English or French skills, you can become a permanent resident in as little as 6 months. Housing varies depending on the city. Vancouver and Toronto are pricey, with one-bedroom apartments averaging 2,500 Canadian dollars, 1,850 US dollars per month. But smaller cities like Halifax, Winnipeg, and Quebec City offer rent for under 1,200 Canadian dollars, 900 US dollars. And Canada is huge, meaning you can choose between vibrant cities, scenic countryside, or even the stunning Rocky Mountains. But let's not forget Canada's biggest selling point, its natural beauty. We're talking about 10% of the world's forests, the largest coastline on Earth, and over 3 million lakes. Whether you love hiking in Banff, skiing in Whistler, or chilling in a lakeside cabin in Ontario, Canada has outdoor adventures for days. And Canadians? They're just plain nice. Seriously, they have a reputation for being some of the friendliest people on the planet, and they really live up to it. Plus, if you ever get homesick, you're just a short flight, or even a drive, away from the US. Long story short, Canada is safe, welcoming, packed with opportunities, and perfect for anyone looking for a better quality of life without being too far from home. No wonder it takes the #1 spot on our list.